Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Let me turn the mic on. Well, I guess they are due for a down game. Welcome back. Game over Edmonton. Your boy Avry in the host chair once again as the Oilers fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins for the first time in a long time. 5-3 on the road. The second last game of their current road trip. And that was a game in which, wow, the Oilers tonight just didn't get off on the right foot. We're trying to play catch up the rest of the night, and Alex Nedeljkovic in the victory for Pittsburgh. 40 saves. What a game for him. We talked about goaltenders standing on their heads quite a bit on Game Over, but man, it was never more true tonight as Nedeljkovic turned away 43 shots, and Nedeljkovic turned away Evan Bouchard and his 10 shots on goal. Evan Bouchard tonight was feeling it from the point, but for Edmonton, a big thing that hurt them was not enough high danger chances. Yes, they had scoring chances, but not enough in tight. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team that, yes, where that window to win isn't open. That window to win has closed quite a bit. They can still find a way to be a very, very pesky hockey team. And tonight, they got the best of the Oilers. But before we continue, got to give a shout out to our friends at Hyperdrive Hockey. Shift into Hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier analysis, the best stories, the biggest stories, pop culture, and a fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hoot, Daphne Melwolf, and Kevin Lame every Tuesday and Friday for your fill of the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com for more. Hyperdrive Hockey, they do some really great things with our flagship show here on the Game Over Network. Of course, as always here on Game Over, we get to your questions, your comments. We have analysis, breakdowns, and if you like the content, as always, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell that cousin you haven't seen in 14 years. Hey, tap into Game Over. They're doing some fun stuff. Let the people know if you like the content. As always, we want to provide some fun things for you, the viewer, as we work to bring back local sports media across the various cities here in the country of Canada. So, I mentioned Edmonton getting off on a slow foot. This is a game in which the Penguins early got things going. A game in which you saw Rickard Rakell score 3 minutes into this game, 3 minutes, 19 seconds in, beating Stuart Skinner. And then just 4 minutes later, about 4 minutes and change later, Brian Rust makes it a 2-0 game. And then after that, 2 minutes after that, Kevin Hayes made it 3-0 with a secondary assist coming from our old pal, Jesse Puljujärvi. 3-0. Then Leon Draisaitl, he brought things back to make it a 3-1 game. Leon with his 30th goal of the season on a backhander on a kind of a really, bit of a weird play where the puck was loose in front of Nedeljkovic. Bodies were flying. And Leon was there on the doorstep to finish it off. And again, Leon, the Rocket Richard trophy is in his reach. I can see it. We're at game 41, and he's the kind of player where I don't know if he's going to slow down. He's kind of got, Connor and Leon have shown that when they're in the zone, when their scoring averages are high, there's no slowing down in a good year. These guys can find a way to take their game to another level. Because I still believe that Leon is the MVP of this league. He's getting his second MVP. And the way Leon came in on net with Nedeljkovic after that scramble, Leon had to swerve, bend the corner. Whoa. But he got that goal. And please tell me, Game Over listeners, you've heard Tweaker by Leandro Ball. Please tell me you have. Oh, my goodness. Had to drop that in there. Some hot stuff for those of you tapping in. But yeah, it was a game I mentioned off the top there where Edmonton was chasing the game. They were trying to catch up, and it felt like defensively they were a little bit of disjointedness to his team defensively from all the defensive pairings. I didn't see a lot of great things defensively from Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse as a collective. This was not a great game. This was a down game for everybody in the back end. Even for guys like Emerson and company and Josh Brown. It was not a great showing today for the guys on that back end. And again, 3-1 game became a 4-1 game quickly. That was the thing where Edmonton had a response and right back. Pittsburgh got that goal right back. After Leon, Drew O'Connor, barely a minute later, made it 4-1 after the first. This was a 4-1 game after 20 minutes. Pittsburgh was cruising after 20. That was not a good sign. Truly wasn't. And then, second period, Sidney Crosby, Sid the kid, Sid the man, Sid the grown-up, makes it a 5-1 game, his 12th of the year, a power play goal. Once again, Sidney Crosby, 18th year in the league, 20th year in the league, still a top 10 player in the league. Sidney Crosby is still a top 10 player in the NHL. If you disagree, yell at your granny over that. I think Sid is still a top 10 player in the league in my mind. Sid makes it 5-1. Leon comes back again with goal number 31 to make it 5-2. And Nuge made it 5-3 for a second there. We were thinking, though, in the second period, here's a chance. They got a chance. Nuge with his 11th goal, a power play goal. Edmonton special teams coming to life again. Maybe some hope. But nope. No. Hope was dashed. Game would end 5-3. Edmonton couldn't add to that comeback. Couldn't beat Nedeljkovic. And I mentioned earlier how Edmonton, yes, got a lot of pucks through traffic. But when it came to the chances, we'll get to that in a second here, Edmonton's chances were not of the highest quality. They were not really getting anything that was challenging Nedeljkovic, really. It was very easy stuff from the stop. Stuff that he could see clearly. Not a lot of stuff through screens that were going to challenge him anyway. And not many chances that were in tight. And again, you can't do that. You need to get stuff in on Nedeljkovic within 5 feet. And Edmonton didn't do enough of that. And they paid for it tonight. And now, that's going to be a big thing again, is just getting stuff closer to the net, getting things through traffic, making life tough for the goaltender in front, no matter who it is. So, I guess the one positive sign is that, yes, you didn't get points, but at least you didn't give up points against an in-division or an in-conference opponent. I mean, that's the one good thing about this road trip, is that you're playing the Eastern Conference team, so the damage overall isn't that bad. But again, when you're chasing Vegas, you want those points. You want at least one, especially against a team like Pittsburgh. So that is going to sting a little bit for Edmonton. That one is going to sting to an extent. But hey, you know what? You can get things back again. You can regroup, settle things down, because you got Chicago on Hockey Night in Canada the last game of your road trip, you take on Chicago, and then the Oilers come back to Edmonton to start the week off on Monday night. Monday night hockey. Monday night. Edmonton is playing LA at home against the Kings, a team that, once again, if the season were to end today, round one, for the fourth year in a row, it would be the Oilers taking on LA. No matter what this team does, no matter how they finish a year, they cannot escape the LA Kings, either in Game 41, Game 82, some way, somehow. This team is always destined, in this current format and with this current team, to square up against the LA Kings to begin a playoff run. And it's so dang funny. It is really, really funny in that aspect. So, but again, on a more serious matter, though, I mentioned LA. We have links up on Game Over's on Game Over's Twitter if you want to help support those when it comes to recovery efforts for the wildfires in Los Angeles. So as you probably seen by now, the Flames and Kings game have been postponed due to the wildfires. So we have links up on our social pages for Game Over. You want to support those who've lost a lot in Southern California, because that's a tough time right now. Because right now in California, sports aren't the important thing. Sports are the furthest thing from people's minds right now. It's about recovering and getting out of areas that are in high danger zones. So if you want to help support, we have links up on Game Over's Twitter platforms, on Blue Sky, to help those in need right now in SoCal. So keeping those people in our thoughts down the States in California. And also, as we head on to segment 2 of Game Over Edmonton, second period. Let's get into some of those stats right now. And we're going to drop some new things here. Folks, people, family and friends. Look at that. We're bringing up stats on screen. Yes, we are. We're bringing up the numbers on Game Over Edmonton on screen. Yes, we are. As you can see here, thanks to the good people at Natural Stat Trick. Oh, I love using this site here. I use it a lot for content on the hockey news. You can see Edmonton in the game outcoursied Pittsburgh 64-47, and the percentage as well too. The higher Fenwick, the shots. You got a lot of shots on Nedeljkovic. They're getting traffic at 5-on-5. 5-on-5 was great numbers. And you want to go to, if we look at all situations, Edmonton had 32 scoring chances, but when it came to all situations, only 8 high danger chances. That can't happen. 32 scoring chances in all situations, I'll say it again, and only 8 high danger chances. The Penguins had 10 high danger chances on 22 scoring chances, 26 shots. Hoo boy indeed. And we look here, we talk about the chances at 5-on-5. At 5-on-5, Edmonton only had 6 high danger chances. What are you doing here? 5-on-5 with, again, one of the better top 6 units in the NHL. And you're only getting 6 high danger chances in close? That can't happen. You gotta improve on that, especially against the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team in the past 5 years you have had tremendous amount of success against. You are not winning games like that. I'm sorry. You plain and simple are not winning games like that with that few chances in tight. You really are not. I have no more to say about that. But that has to improve against Chicago. A team that, again, is rebuilding, trying to get through the new era with Connor Bedard. You gotta figure that out on Saturday night. You have no choice but to do just that. Holy smokes. And again, too many shots from guys from the point. Get in tight. Stop being so comfortable with those shots from 35, 40 feet out. Get in tight. Rattle Nedeljkovic. Make the cycle a little more challenging for the Penguin defenders. They weren't doing that tonight. They really were not. I mean, there were at times some exceptions, yes, with Draisaitl's goals and with Ryan Hopkins, but it wasn't enough. And that's where you're going to get burned. That's where this team is going to get burned. But overall, I mean, in the past 10 games, they've been having a great run. The past 10 games, I guess, hey, they were due for that one down game in which everything doesn't come together. But you can't have too many more of those kind of games. It's got to be, again, a small blip where you look at the tape on your way to Ohio, clean up what you got to clean up, and then come back ready for Chicago. You can't have too many more of those games where you're thinking to yourself, man, we didn't do enough to win in a game that was fully winnable. And just the start tonight was lackluster again. You got to come out of the gate strong against Penguins. The need to come out of the gate on fire just wasn't there tonight. It felt like they were skating in mud. If that's the best way to describe it. It looked like they were, plain and simple, skating in mud. And that is, again, how do you not get up for a game like that? How do you not get up to play guys like Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin? Like, these are guys you should want to get up and play for or play against every night. And it wasn't even the big guns that came out and had Edmonton reeling. It was guys like, again, Drew O'Connor, Kevin Hayes, Ricard Raquel, who brought it to Edmonton early and didn't relent. And that is a major issue in my mind when it's Pittsburgh's what's the word here? When it's the role players on Pittsburgh who are stepping up the most and are getting the most aggressive and are exploiting the issues in your top 2 decor, that's not a good thing. That's not good. So, again, not huge issues, not major things, but it's small things Edmonton has to clean up. These are things that are fixable, and Edmonton has to fix them against a Blackhawks team that is not good. Plain simple. Chicago wasn't a good hockey team. You got to go in there in the United Center and show that, hey, you're a team that is going to be contending for a cup. And we'll try and see if we can get you guys the post-game stuff when it comes to the Oilers, because I know they're just waiting on that. We want to try on Game Over to get you some more content, be it locker room stuff, be it post-game stuff, like post-game audio, post-game footage. We'll try and see it. Okay, so we do have Mattias Ekholm locker room content here. We'll try to cut to that here in a second. Yeah, we'll try and give you that good audio from Mattias Ekholm here. Post-game, there's content from Mattias Ekholm and Brett Kulak in the locker room post-game. We'll cut to that shortly here. Nope, here we go. Oh, we try to experiment with this. Bear with us on Game Over Edmonton. We try to do some new things for the people here. Oh, there we go.
How did you go about regrouping tonight?
Yeah, obviously not the start we wanted, but that time it's just a matter of looking forward. Can't really do much about the past. Obviously not the start we wanted, but that time it's just a matter of looking forward. Can't really do much about the past. So thought we came out better in the second. Took some ground on them, but I mean at the end of the night we can't give them that. Or we can't dig ourselves that big of a hole. It's hard to climb out of it in this league, and we certainly had to pay the price tonight.
Do you feel like you've had bad periods, but they usually don't leave that big a dent? It's one goal, maybe 2 goals, right? That bad period was a full goal period. you know, I guess what's the difference? Were you that bad, or did it just have bad luck, or what do you think?
Great question. I don't know. I guess as much up to you guys to decide than me maybe, but yeah, I don't really know if I have a great answer for you. Sometimes you're right though. Like sometimes you can play probably a worse period and just be down 2 or 1. For some reason, they all seem to go in. We made some mistakes, right? And they ended up in the back of our net. Some nights that's going to happen. At least I thought we bounced back and we battled better in the last 40. But again, when you're trying to climb out of a hole like that, it's hard.
Mattias, we talked to you after Boston and about how great that effort was, how maybe close to perfect. Does it feel kind of weird or odd that 2 nights later that happens after such a great performance?
Yes and no. I've been in this league long enough to know that sometimes you can't. A lot of things doesn't make sense in this league, and if you're trying to puzzle them together, it's hard, and I don't think it's worth it. So, yeah, we had a really good effort in Boston. I thought we had a good effort in Seattle. Followed it up with a non-so-good first period tonight. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes they come and go. It's a long season. I think we all can learn from it, which is the most important thing at this time. We can dwell over it as much as we want. It wasn't to our standard, and that's the end of that.
What did you make of Nedeljkovic's night on the other end?
Yeah, I thought we had some looks there in the third for sure, and he made some good saves. We obviously got to bear down a little bit better, but yeah, he played a good night.
You guys, I think it's 15 of 20. Like, is it easier to kind of flush these away when you've had that type of sustained success for a long time now?
Yes and no. I still think there's things you can learn from it. I don't want to flush it completely. We don't want it to happen again. So we have a chance here on Saturday to have a 3-1 road trip, which is pretty good. So that's the focus right now.
There's Mattias Ekholm of the Edmonton Oilers. And that's a good point that Ekholm makes. Sorry, again, we're going to go back to our shot here. And Ekholm makes a good point how if Edmonton goes into Chicago, gets the win, they're 3-1 on the road trip. And then, great point he made as well, too, that you can't really make sense of the NHL too much because, yeah, you go into Boston, you have a great night, and then you go into Pittsburgh, and you're down 4-1 after 1. You will drive yourself silly if you try to make too much sense. You try to make sense of the NHL on a game-by-game basis. Sometimes those games happen, but a great point he made again, how, yes, second period, the bounce back was amazing. At a certain, after the 2 periods, the shots were 33-13 for the Oilers. So the aggression was there, the bounce back was there, but again, you can only do so much when you dig yourself a 4-1 hole after 20 minutes. So, but let us know if you liked us going in and actually going through some footage, because yeah, we're gonna try and do some more of that in Game Over. We're gonna show you some more post-game coverage, immerse you some more into what happens post-game here on Game Over Edmonton, because why not? We may as well give you some more coverage, some more content, because hey, we're the media, we're the content creators, we want to give our people some more stuff. And you know what else we want to do? We want to give you some more content when it comes to Game On. Yes, Game On. Monday to Friday, Graham Wilsman's got you covered with Game On. Because Game Over, we got you covered post-game, but the day afterwards, tap into Graham. Every weekday, he's got you covered in a show that goes through in less than 10 minutes. He goes through all the big news in the NHL, in the hockey world. Where can you find Graham? Tap in to the Game Over Network YouTube channel. Tap in on podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. And head to the GameOverNetwork.com and you'll find all your Game On content that Graham has for you. We wrap things up here, or I'll start to wrap things up here on Game Over. Go into the third period. And again, if you got some comments, questions for me tonight, let me know in the comments section. And we're going to go through Twitter and Blue Sky and see what the comments are saying for there as well, because we're going to try and go through all the platforms to find the good content. See how the people are feeling about this team, about the game, their impressions. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you baffled? Let Dr. Avry hear it all. Well, maybe not all, but some of the content. And I try to be your guide through what's happening in Oilers land. And here in the third period, you know what? Let's go and let's tap into what Brett Kulak said also too. So maybe we'll get some more stuff from. Maybe we'll get the Kris Knoblauch audio too as well. But we'll see. Maybe we get some Knoblauch stuff or some Draisaitl content as we wait for the Oilers to upload more stuff. We try to find the Kulak audio again. Having a slow computer, it happens. But again, the accountability from guys like Ekholm, Kulak, these guys pull no punches. There's a level of honesty in the room that I've liked from guys like Ekholm and that core for quite some time. And it's a matter of, again, like Ekholm said, you don't want to repeat it, but you can't totally flush everything in that aspect. You learn from it. You take bits of what went wrong, what went right, and improve on that for Chicago, for what you want to get done, for what you want to see. Because overall, this was a game in which, you had maybe 3 or 4 guys who you can say had a good night, but as a core, it wasn't a great night, if you want to look at the collective. And yeah. So the audio is here for Kris Knoblauch. So let's play you Kris Knoblauch's audio. If we can get it going. Oh, his YouTube is a little bit finicky here. Technology. Oh yeah, you know what YouTube said instead? Nah, Avry, you're not getting the audio. You know what you're getting? A crash. You're getting a page crash instead. Okay, there we go. Now we got the audio. Okay, let's tap into Kris Knoblauch. All right.
Kris, how did you see that opening period materialize that led to the deficit?
We weren't ready. They outworked us, outskated us. Attention to details wasn't there. We had a heck of a game effort-wise and work ethic against Boston. And tonight, the first 20 minutes, we absolutely took off, and the deficit was too big for us to overcome.
After the Boston game, is that what makes this kind of surprising or frustrating or whatever the word is, because you had such a great game in 2 games?
Nothing surprised me. In hockey, obviously, you go from one game to the next, and you can put together a big string of games, and you can play an unbelievable game, and the next one you're not ready. So tonight, the last 40 minutes was really good effort. I think we had our chances to get back in it, and obviously without some goalposts, maybe tie it up at some point, but it was just too big a hole to overcome.
Maybe this one works. When you play a team that you've owned for, like, these guys haven't beat you since 2019, it's all the stats are out there and stuff. Should you expect that they're going to come out pretty hard right away because they've probably been hearing these numbers and sick of hearing?
Yeah. I think I'm sure the previous game they knew about I don't think the tipping point was tonight going into the game that they're ready to play and they're fired up. But it was just, it happens throughout the year that you have a good game, the next one's not. And, I think for 40 minutes we had a heck of a game. First 20 minutes we were not ready for it, and they outplayed us.
There's Oilers head coach Kris Knoblauch. But yeah, I don't want my coach. I wouldn't want my coach to tell me that or say to the media that we took the first 20 minutes off. I don't want my coach saying that we weren't ready to come out, because as a pro, you should be ready. You should be coming out like gangbusters, ready for a game like this, especially against Pittsburgh, and especially after your win against the Boston Bruins. There shouldn't be a game in which your coach is telling the press, we took this period off. That's not a good sign. Not at all. And again, the honesty. I appreciate the honesty from Knoblauch and from Ekholm. So I do appreciate that for this team. So, and again, and they'll be honest once again, if this happens against Chicago, you're dang sure right. They're going to say the exact same thing. But we'll see what happens. Things should change in the United Center come this weekend. Things should change. But we'll wrap things up here when it comes to the first 3 periods by shouting out our own clothing line, because at the end of the day, hey, you know what? It's cold out. You know what you should do? Get yourself some game all over gear. Get yourself some game over clothing, because hey, I know it's thawing right now in Edmonton, but it's going to get cold again. So you know what you're going to need? You're going to need a nice beanie, a toque. You're going to need a hoodie. The Game Over collection, our clothing line, we got you. We got you taken care of here in January because, hey, what better way to support a local brand that you love? What better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? Game Over's apparel line. We got you covered. It dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you want to feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, or you want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, we got you. Or if you need another coffee or tea to get you through the winter, we got you covered with some mugs designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code on stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. I know you're thinking, let me get that t-shirt. You're thinking, let me get that mug. I need one. Sleek and sexy. Elite gear. Elite gear. All right. With that being said, it's overtime, y'all. It is overtime. Your questions, your comments. Let's get into it. And we did have a couple from my pals at the network. More heckling than anything else. Oh, you're trying to find it. Oh, 1 second. Here we go. Ash from Game Over Edmonton tweeted, "Who's to blame for that disastrous start?" Oh man, Ash. There was no one player. That was just, to me in my mind, that was a collective. Again, Stu didn't make the saves he needed to make. Defensively in front of him, they weren't good. The forwards outside of Nuge and Dry just weren't there tonight. But then look at Kay from Game Over Montreal saying that she manifested this bad start. Look at that. Kay sipping on some haterade, wanting the Oilers start that we got tonight. That is elite level haterade from inside the company. Wow. That's a jug. That's a pure jug level of haterade. That is a 2-liter jug of haterade from our own company, from our co-hosts. Wow. You know what? You know what's going to happen? We need to invade Game Over Montreal to get some payback for that. Just invade Game Over Montreal. Just for that. No, I'm joking. I'm playing. No need for an invasion of other shows on the channel or on the network. Let's keep things peaceful here on Game Over Land. Oh my goodness. But that was funny though. That was funny, you know. The heckling, doesn't matter who you are here on our network, you can get heckled. No matter what show you host. No matter if you go coast to coast, we will heckle you. But it's all love among our fellow co-hosts. It is all love, and it's all done in jest here on Game Over. As we wrap things up here, so on Saturday, Ash will take you through the coverage after Edmonton plays Chicago. Ash has got you. And then we're back again on Monday as Edmonton takes on LA at home, which will probably be, once again, year 4 of the first round playoff matchup. It's coming. We're going to get LA and Edmonton again in a few months. It's going to come. This game on Monday is just going to get you prepped for that matchup once again. Anyways, I'm Avry. Thank you all for tapping in tonight. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me, listening to my analysis and watching us break down Edmonton and Pittsburgh. Until next time, we are out of here. Come back on Saturday night, and Ash has you covered after Edmonton takes on Chicago. Later.